Today we want to review some quick tips for handling and shipping of parts for salt spray testing. First thing we want to do when we're going to be collecting parts to be shipped into a laboratory for testing is we want to make sure that the parts are cool and dry before we collect them. Many top coats have water or solvent as the carrier, and we don't want to entrap that water or solvent in any packaging that the parts are going to go into for shipment. So it's best to make sure that the parts have sat on the floor for a few hours after processing so that they cool down to room temperature and that any water or solvent that's used as the carrier is allowed to evaporate. The next thing you want to remember is never handle parts that are going to be salt spray tested with your bare hands. The easiest thing to do is just use some basic rubber gloves and make sure that when you go to gather parts out of the barrel or bin that you're going to collect from, that you use the gloves to handle the pieces. If you don't have gloves available, another easy thing you can do is just take a plastic bag, put your hand into the plastic bag and grab the pieces that are going to be tested in the bag. Fold the bag inside out, add a twist tie, and you're good to go. By handling parts with your bare hands, you can cause premature failure in your salt spray test. On this piece here, as you can see, I've got 2 rust marks, and actually they match my fingerprints perfectly. I touched this piece on purpose prior to putting it into the salt spray cabinet, and what resulted is failure in those exact same places where my fingers were. So we don't want to handle parts with our bare hands. The next thing we want to do is when we're going to ship the parts, we want to make sure that we're shipping the parts, packaging them in non-absorbent material. Plastic bag is best. In this case here, I just wanted to show you this part had a rust preventative oil applied, and after the oil was applied I placed it on a piece of cardboard, and as you can see the oil has been wicked away from the surface and is absorbed into the paper. So we never want to package parts that are going to be salt spray tested in envelopes, in paper towels, or just throw them in a cardboard box. Really, using a plastic container is the best way to go. And if you can, package them individually. The last tip for submitting a salt spray test is having a conversation with the tester that's going to be performing the salt spray, letting them know the duration of the test. Do you want a 72-hour test? Do you want a 48-hour test? And also letting them know if there's a specific area of your part that you consider important. I want to evaluate the edges on this hex, or I want to not evaluate rust in the threads. By having that conversation and letting the tester know what you're looking for or what you're expecting out of the piece, you can get the most accurate results back. So those things, being sure that you let the parts cool and that they're dry prior to packaging, not handling them with your bare hands using a plastic bag or a rubber glove, making sure that when you do package them you don't use anything absorbent like paper or cardboard. And lastly, having a discussion with the testing lab to let them know how long you want the salt spray test to be run, or what the significant surface of the part is that you're submitting to be tested. If you have any questions on collecting parts for salt spray, please give us a call.